Hey there, Pearl. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Pat?
I am doing good. So, welcome to all who are online with us from all over the world. So, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. I'm Pearl Kraker and my co host, Pearl Pang. We are here for an exciting show. For those who are coming here for the very first time, let us take a few minutes to tell you about the history of how TownSquare Talk came to be. Mm-hmm. During the beginning of COVID-19, Pearl and I started sharing stories of our friends, family, clients were just wrestling with the new norm. And Pearl and I said, what are we going to do? How are we going to impact? We can make a difference. So we decided to put TownSquare Talk Show together and bring in subject matter experts on a variety of issues really concerning society and especially women, and how we could make a difference to have them go through the new normal and then transition in their career and their business in an easier way and with ease and grace. And so here we are, season 2. Wow. Episode 10. So where we're having a lot of fun. Did you know that 1 out of 8 women will develop cancer in her lifetime? And in the US alone, 43,000 women will die this year of breast cancer. And most of us know someone who is on that journey. It's either been ourselves, family, friends. And so we needed to bring attention to the thrivers that are around us, bring hope and share some wisdom on how you can go through your particular journey and support family and friends. So with that, I am Pat Kraker. I am a transitional business coach, and I'm an author and a speaker, and I am delighted to be here. And so, Pearl?
Thank you, Pat. Indeed. Welcome, everyone. I am Pearl Pang, co-host of TownSquare Talk. I advise C-suite business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders on achieving their best. I'm a seasoned global consultant and coach with over 3 decades of combined experience at IBM and Fortune 500 companies. And today's topic is near and dear in my heart, as my grandmother had breast cancer, survived and lived till age 81, so she was very, very lucky. And back to you, Pat. Let us introduce our guest today.
Absolutely. So I'd like to introduce Angela Orr. Angela Orr is a registered pharmacist, a certified life coach, certified heart math practitioner, and a pharmacist of 36 years and a serial entrepreneur. Along her entrepreneurial journey, Angela's proudest accomplishments were opening and owning 2 of her own pharmacies in Maine for a total of 15 years. Then came the breast cancer diagnosis. Her stress and anxiety were literally killing her. And it showed up for her as being overweight, very unhappy, and now with breast cancer. She had to come to a point in her life that she knows that there's a place for medication, but throwing a pill at the problem was not always the solution. So she began her pill-less healing journey. Angela sold her pharmacies and transitioned to becoming a certified life coach, certified heart math practitioner, and business coach. Welcome, Angela, to the panel.
Thank you, Pat. I'm excited to be here.
Welcome, Angela. And allow me to introduce Rita Massey. Rita's mission is to help people access their inner essence and healing power to live in full alignment with their true purpose through energy work, Reiki, mental clearing with access conscious diet and lifestyle, and whole food supplements. Her work goes directly to the root cause of the issues, whether it be health, business, or relationship. Rita specializes in working with visionaries and healers who find their dreams thwarted by patterns of life events, illness, accidents, interpersonal traumas, and so forth, to break through the underlying doubts and fears, where her soul empowerment, coaching, and healing has benefited many. Rita also specializes in working with people who are facing cancer and chronic diseases to assist them in making empowered choices in their healing process and addressing and clearing and underlying issues that keep them from getting better. Being a stage 4 survivor, Rita wants to help as many as she can to heal from cancer as she did. Her work gets quickly to the underlying core issues that are impeding their ability to heal and move forward in their life. With that in mind, Rita created the 6 Keys to Empowered Healing program. Welcome, Rita, to our program.
Welcome, Rita. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Wisdom. And I have the pleasure of introducing Lucy McCabe. Lucy is a co-founder of McCabe Fashion Group, the genesis of Lucy Social Style, a retail concept to showcase her love of novelty finds and personal art. Across fashion and home design, she is known for her passionate love of artisan collection and buying exclusive designs to market and bringing exclusive designs to market. Lucy has 30 years experience as a retail merchant with companies such as Neiman Marcus. Lucy lives in Franklin, Tennessee, and she is a 2.5-year breast cancer thriver. Lucy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome, Lucy.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
One of the things that Pearl and I have done at the beginning of every show is to just be in a moment and present with gratitude before we start our show. And so we'd like to do that. And we'd like to start with our guests.
I am grateful for my husband, who's been there by my side through everything.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. And Lucy, what are you grateful for?
Okay, I'm grateful for my family, but my faith, first and foremost, my faith that really gets me through every single day.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And how about you, Rita?
Yes, I'm grateful for my spiritual path. The practices that I've been given help me through everything.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Alana Pink Paddlers, which is like the way to get out there on the ocean with people have been through similar things as I have, and just celebrating life.
You, Pearl, how about you?
Well, today I'm especially grateful for having 3 wonderful and beautiful women to join us sharing their most intimate experiences. So I'm very, very grateful for having you ladies.
And I am grateful for celebrating 26 years of being a cancer thriver. Thank you, ladies, for being here. I'd like to start with the first question for all of you is, how did you discover you had breast cancer and how did you deal with that diagnosis? And I'd like to start with Angela.
Thank you. How I found my diagnosis, I had not been for a mammogram for several years because I didn't have time and I was too busy. So I finally one year said, I really need to start taking care of myself. And I went. And as I went through the process from mammogram to mammogram at the hospital to sonogram to biopsy, along the way, I was like, this isn't the normal, but of course that diagnosis was the furthest thing from my mind. And when I got the diagnosis, they had done the biopsy the week of Thanksgiving, and I had told them if it comes back positive, do not call me until after Thanksgiving because I'm going to be spending Thanksgiving with my grandchildren and I wanted to enjoy it. But I knew in my heart that I what it was going to be. And how I dealt with it at that moment when I got the call to confirm what I already knew was I made a decision in that moment that no matter what went on, I was going to be okay. I had to be for a lot of reasons, but it was scary. I mean, I had that in me, but it was also very, very scary. And I know we'll talk a little bit more about some of that throughout the call.
Mm-hmm.
So my message is get your mammogram.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Lucy?
Exactly. I totally agree with you, Angela, because the way I found out, it was really, I had a pre-existing scar on my breast, and I was going through menopause and kind of felt like it was just a growth because of menopause. So I let it go. And it kept growing, and I kept thinking, gosh, this is this what happens when you get older? Everything just goes downhill. And as you can, and as it was, 4 or 5 months bigger, I finally, you know what, I need to go check this out with my doctor. So I did. And of course, just like Angela, going through all the processes of mammograms and, being all different, I guess, ways of checking if it is cancer, not cancer, finally got the diagnosis. And I really, I really did not expect it. And I felt like something had just been taking, like the floor just went away from under me. And I just felt like I was floating. I don't know. It was a really hard way to describe how I felt, because it was kind of scary, but at the same time, within those few seconds that I was told, I also made a decision, just like Angela, like, oh, okay, well, this is a journey. I'm going to get through it. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do it. Okay, so what do we have to do? What's step number one? And that's just how I approached it.
Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Rita?
Well, I discovered I had a lump in my breast, excuse me. And so I had to have it checked out, and I ended up getting, the imaging and then the biopsy. And I didn't want to believe it, right? Except like what Angela said, it was like part of me already knew. And so, the thing of facing it and then going through that initial reaction of fear and dread, and oh my gosh, I could die from this. And, I was only 39 years old. And then I decided to check into, okay, what's it going to take to heal? And I checked into my body and I go, well, I got a lot of life in me, so yeah, I can do this. And it's just that decision to just like, I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to get through it. And I'm going to, death is not an option here.
Absolutely. And I really like what you all said, is that, and I'm in that same corner with you all, is that it's a decision that you make immediately. That you will be a survivor and a thriver, and you will take whatever action it takes to heal yourself. And it's just a decision that you make, and in all your cases, right away.
It sounds like mindset is pretty important in your decision. So how does that support your healing? Angela, let's start with you, please.
So, yes, you make that decision, and I knew inside that I felt like I could not get really sick and pass away from this, because there was so much. I had my business, I had my customers, I had 2 pharmacies at the time, my customers, my employees. So I kept coming back to that decision, but there were many times you're scared. You go up and you go down. But I had to keep coming back to what was important. And I felt like I also have a faith journey. I believe very much in God. Everybody believes in whatever theirs is. But I just coming back to the fact that I felt like God internally was saying to me, it's going to be okay. And you're going to get a lot out of this. He doesn't make bad things, but he'll take the bad things and help to make good out of it, is what I feel. So the mindset was just keep coming back to that, no matter where I was on that journey, because it wasn't all, oh, I'm going to be fine in this sit. No, I made that decision, but then I was like, oh my God, this is cancer. And as Lucy said, it's hard to say exactly how that felt, but I just had to keep coming back to that decision of, I'm going to be okay and get through this.
Yeah.
Every day it's a choice. That's how I approached every single day. It's a choice, because you can wake up and say, poor me, poor pitiful me, or, oh God, how am I going to get through it? Or you're faced with family or friends asking you so many questions that you can't even answer yourself. So it's easy for your mind to down spiral. So make a choice to have positive energy every day. I feel like it's so important to be able to utilize that positive energy no matter where you see it, and it comes at you in different ways every single day. You just grasp onto that and keep going throughout the day, and the days get better and better. The more empowered you feel, and your strength just keeps building and keeps building. And I think your mindset just starts to shift that way, and it's great. I love it.
What both Angela and Lucy said. Plus, another thing that came to me is just deciding that I'm going to live my life and I'm going to enjoy my life, keep doing what I'm doing, and rekindle the passion and keep asking those empowering questions. What will it take for me to heal? And a lot of little things came my way because of asking those questions. And that kept the faith, definitely. But staying engaged in life is, I think, an important piece of it.
I think in an overall way, cancer was not going to define us.
Yes.
It just was not going to define us.
And
I feel I feel that that's what we kept telling each other. I think that's what you kept telling yourself. Like, okay, no, I'm not going to let this take over.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
And I love that. Cancer will not define us. And as all of you went through your journey, you had the peaks and valleys. It's just normal to actually go through that cycle of peaks and valleys. And so my question to you ladies is, how did you keep yourself positive, knowing that you were in those valleys, and how to pull yourself out of it?
I'd always had a prayer life before that, but it got stronger. And there really is power in prayer. So for me, it was prayer. I added some new things also, some meditation and breathing and some other things. But, even in today's world, which now is 5 years later for me, actually 7 years, there's so much negative in the world, and there's so much negative around that I really had to, and even back then there was, the skills that I learned then, I still use now. And the skills of really blocking out the things that don't make me feel good. So, the news, people, situations. So I really had to be careful about where I left myself, be vulnerable to input. So that helped me to keep positive, because you do have a lot of fear, you do have a lot of uncertainty, but coming back to me for prayer and to blocking out those things that didn't make me feel good really helped me to stay on the path of being positive, because I knew I wasn't going to get better by being the same way that I was prior to my diagnosis.
Sure. How about you, Lucy? How did you keep yourself positive?
Well, a little the same as Angela, but mostly initially for me, I really wanted to understand the step by step. I'm very emotional, and it was easy for my emotions to carry me away. And the way I felt like I could stay positive initially was meeting other survivors, talking with them of their journey. Now, every journey is different. You can't apply yourself to their journey because yours is different. But also spending time with my doctor initially and getting the scientific approach, because I had to balance her scientific approach with my emotions, and making sure I understood. Once I understood a step by step of the scientific approach that she was taking, it would make me feel a lot calmer, and it'll keep me positive during the initial stages, during the initial time when it was unclear and too much information coming our way. So I just try to stay focused with my doctor and the other survivors.
Good, thank you. How about you, Rita?
Yeah, I'd have to ditto on a lot of things. The prayer is important. The meditation practice, the associations that I kept. And really, by taking a look at my mind and sifting through what serves me and what doesn't. And I initially looked at it and go, wow, no wonder you're sick, just by looking at the habitual thought patterns. And I just went to work to change them and to replace them with something that's more positive and actually more true to who I am and what I'm about. And those times when I would get into one of those bad swirls, I would just kind of, I guess it's kind of like, in a way, it's a prayer. I would just imagine, I might even go lie down and imagine just being bathed in light, and surrounded by angels and all this, just to know I'm here, I'm receiving healing from the divine, and all will be well.
It's lovely how you all bring in faith and people and prayer into keeping yourself positive, because we all know that we can't do it by ourselves. It's a journey that really requires a support group. And yes, appreciate your sharing.
And one other thing I wanted to add really quickly, it's going to come up in the other questions, but for me, nature is really important.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Staying positive is sometimes harder than other times. That brings to perhaps you have routines built in your healing process. So Angela, what have been your routines that work so well for you?
When I was first diagnosed, as I said, or as you said, had in my bio, that I was so stressed and had so much anxiety because of owning these two multi-million-dollar businesses, having employees, having this and that I just would get up in the beginning of the day and just go, and I'd be on adrenaline all day. And I realized then that I need to pull back and I need to really reinforce my routine of, it's important for me to start the day on the right mental note.
Mm-hmm.
So really having some time to myself to really think about what was important to me. And I think the routine that I've gotten into then and even now is really looking at what's important to me and to really honor that. So spending some time every morning with myself, spending some time at night with myself and in my prayer life, and then at nighttime also. And then even throughout the day, if I need to, I've added that in as I've learned, because I, went on a search for different modalities. Because as I said earlier, I knew that what I was doing then wasn't going to continue to work. And so I really started on my healing journey with having different eating routines. I've lost quite a bit of weight. I still have quite a bit to go, but I'm on the downward, I'm going in the right direction. I have stopped drinking. I'm alcohol free for almost 2 years now, and just a lot of different routines, including expanding my prayer life, has really helped me a lot in my healing. And I feel like I'm going to continue to heal, even though I'm cancer free and I don't have to go to the doctor. I don't have to take medicine anymore. To me, it was really about learning to pivot, and I'm healing long term. So it's every day, what can I do to get a little bit better?
Beautiful. Thank you, Angela. And Lucy, how about you?
It's an awakening is what I'm hearing, as well. It's like having cancer and getting this diagnosis. It caused us to have an awakening of a lot of our strengths were buried, and all of a sudden they're coming out because you're kind of faced with it. And for me, as well, it was, my faith and spirituality, just became clearer. I had it all along. I always did, but kind of like Angela, I was caught up in work every single day, nonstop. I mean, I get to work and maybe at 9 and get home at 9, and it was just constant nonstop. And I feel like this kind of stops you on your tracks, and makes you have intention. One of the routines that I incorporated was, it just became a routine, was my friend would call me every morning and we would read a devotional together. And and that made me feel so good, because I felt like, oh, I have somebody, that's helping me through this. And we all do. We have one person, And I feel it's important to have that one person. And some of us have more than one person. And I think it's great. And it just, that devotional really helped me because we were able to talk about what that meant for us that day. And every day was a different devotion, a different devotional, and how we would manage that day so that we could benefit from the message.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things, of course, was to really investigate what I can do to improve my diet. I've been health conscious, but not practicing really, because I had to give up the things that really weren't healthy for my diet. Like the cream-filled danishes that I used to love to have. Like, I really had to take a look at things I was doing that really are not good for me, and replace them with things that were really going to support my body, and develop different tastes for food and learn to listen to my body. So that's on the physical level, and like both Lucy and Angela on the spiritual level is just really anchoring into our spiritual life. Being really serious about our practices. I do meditation practice morning and evening, and learning to be grateful for every moment, because it's like a new lease on life, and it's like grateful to be alive today. Shortly after my diagnosis, a friend of mine was taken out in a motorcycle accident just like that, and I thought I was going to die before anybody else. And so life is so precious, and just appreciating those moments. And when things went up and down, and it was like sometimes I didn't feel that good, and I didn't feel that strong. And so the days I felt strong enough to walk, I would park into the back part of the parking lot to go into the store and say, "Thank you, God, I have strong legs today."
I love
Right.
that.
Yeah,
That's
all
wonderful.
those little things that you can, anchor in with.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
As we go through the journey, and I say we because I was on that journey with you, is that it causes you to pause and reflect on your life and what's been going well in your life, what wasn't going well, that we just settled in those certain aspects of our lives. And all of you, in just hearing your answers, is that in that reflection, you all knew within you that you had to develop new habits. You couldn't continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect to actually heal from cancer unless you made a change. You pivoted, you shifted, you brought new habits. So, Angela, what new habits did you bring into your life once you realized that you had cancer?
So some of the new habits, I had not really meditated or did different breathing exercises before that. But I think one of the biggest habits is to be grounded. I do a lot of grounding meditations. I do a lot of grounding things. And what I mean by being grounded is being in the here and now, being in my body right at this minute. I was so busy doing other things and always being busy that I never was here. And being here is the most important thing to me now. I don't always do that 100%, but I really try to do that. And with meditation, it really has changed my life. And again, being a scientist, being a pharmacist, I've looked into and studied quite a bit of the science behind all of this. And what I like to say to people is woo-woo is science-based. A lot of people think, oh, meditation or breathing is science, woo-woo, but it's science-based. There really is. It biologically and physiologically changes things inside of you to help decrease that cortisol levels and to help increase the healing properties of your body. And breathing, everybody says, oh, I breathe, I know, but so many of us are just those shallow breathers that really harm your body over time. So I've really learned about different ways that I can breathe and different techniques to really physiologically open up my body, because that opening up to the energy, the good energy, is what really continues to heal me and continues me on my journey.
Love that. Setting intentions for me was the big thing. Because I would just let the days go and they would just, like I said, run into each other. So being able to wake up and set an intention for myself with not just myself, but what I was going to eat that day. What does my workout look like? What does my health look like? Where's my family at? Where's my work at? So just looking at every aspect of my life every morning and seeing how I was going to participate. How was I going to be present? And I loved each one because as Rita said, you become so grateful for every aspect of your life. So for me, setting intentions was in a way a new habit. I guess it's in another way of saying being grounded, I guess, kind of what Angela was saying, just being grounded, just being here and now and not having your mind take you to another place all the time. And then remembering, oh my gosh, having to backtrack, or not accomplishing and feeling like a failure because you didn't do something right. So I guess just setting intentions helps keep yourself in a positive mindset. So to me, it was a good thing to incorporate as a habit in my life.
Yeah, both of you have been, I'm hearing, is very mindful about how you went through your day. And living on purpose and staying present, which is where the power lies. So how about you, Rita?
What helped me was making a commitment to get outside and exercise every day. So would it be, depending on my level of ability at the time, because when I was in really difficult phases, during the stage 4, I might just be able to get to the mailbox and a little further and back. And then, if I could walk around the block a couple of times, get in the car and then go down to this beautiful natural sanctuary and go a couple of miles around a trail was just like, yes, I could look forward to that every day and doing some yoga. And another thing that was helpful was journaling. That would help for me to sort out and process out whatever thoughts were going on. And also to see the humor in things. I don't know if that's, we kind of like blending the habit mindset things, but seeing the humor in things is really important.
I totally agree. Sometimes we become too serious in the journey.
And to be able to laugh at the
we don't laugh, right? We just okay, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z because we're gonna heal ourselves, and we don't take that moment to really stop and laugh and really enjoy.
So there was this, I have to tell you this quick little story. My brother and sister-in-law came to visit me, and I knew that they had some problems. They were like really heavied out about certain problems in their life and their business and whatnot. And I did not want it to go there. Like I didn't have any room for it. I was doing chemotherapy. So I made a joke to my brother, who's pretty much bald. I said, "Hey, I've got less hair than you do now." And for just lighten everything up and just like, let's just have fun today. Let's just enjoy the visit today.
Yeah, so which leaves me wondering how your conversations and dialogues, right, with your family and friends about, since you had the diagnosis and going through your journey, how is that impacting, Angela?
At first, I felt like I was the comforter. Like I had to tell everybody and I had to reassure them that I was going to be okay because they were all so upset. Again, going back to the business, my family, my parents were both deceased. So it was my siblings, but we're very close, and my, 20 nephews and nieces and everybody. So I had to like calm them down. And then my husband, his grandmother had passed away from breast cancer. So of course he was very upset. And I think it was a way for me to like not even have to think about it. It was a way for me to be able to escape because I was comforting them. And then I went through a phase where I don't give a rip about what you think. Those ups and downs. It was like, this is about me, not about you. What are you talking about? So you go through those different, the ups and downs, just like any emotional thing. What in the end, I think it really had me again trying to be more in the here and now, so
Mhm.
that my relationships are so much better and deeper because I value them so much more. And I think they do too in a lot of ways.
Mm.
And because I had a brother who passed away from cancer 41 years ago. It was his birthday this week. He would have been 51. And so he passed away, when he was very young, the youngest brother. So it was scary for my family,
Yeah.
for my siblings,
Mm.
when this happened to me. And I'm kind of like the queen boss of the family. So it was just really scary. And it was,
Mm.
but like I said, it ended up being that just a better overall relationship with family and friends because I realized, how precious that is, like we've said. And we all know that.
Yeah.
But when you have the diagnosis and you face that potential,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't. I was a born case. It wasn't like Rita's, who it sounds like it was much more serious.
Mm.
My surgeon told me I was a born case, but which is good to be born in that time. But it still came down to it. Really, I feel like positively impacted us.
Mm. Mm. Interesting. How about you, Lucy?
So funny. I feel like the same thing that Angela went through, I went through. Like everybody was so scared for me. Like everybody was just scared. I told them, and I could just see their faces just turning. So immediately, I would become again the positive person that's saying, "This is what I'm going to do. Don't worry about it. I've got this. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing everything in the journey to get it done, and I'm going to work with my doctors and." So it was a lot of everybody being scared, and then
Mm.
extended people that, and then they find out, they kind of come to you like, I don't know, like they're trying to give you advice and they don't really know what they're talking about, and they make you nervous, and oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for you, and you just kind of so that would make me feel uncomfortable, that I had to go to. I remember telling my doctor one time about it, saying, I don't know how to deal with everybody coming at me, making me feel bad that I have this, but I'm trying to deal with it. And she was so cool. She just said to me, unless this person has been sitting in front of a doctor's chair and has been given the same diagnosis that you have, they cannot tell you anything. They don't know unless you're faced with it themselves. I'm like, you know what? You're right. So then it just kind of helped me to not, I guess, own the weight of so many different people that was weighing me down a little bit. And then I felt, okay, it was
That's so
it was
funny.
a lot. It's very emotional. It is
Mhm.
emotional, and I just can't get away from that. You get emotional, family and friends get emotional, people that you don't even know get emotional.
Yeah.
Interesting and fascinating to see you ladies rise up to even support the families and friends around you. And Rita, do you have anything else to add besides your brother's story?
That was, I was like seasoned by that time. But in the beginning, it was like that feeling like I just didn't like being the harbinger of bad news and upsetting people. And that's the hard thing. And they get more upset than you do. And then you got to deal with their upset. And it's like, I felt like I really didn't have the bandwidth to deal with it. So either I didn't talk about it. And then there were people that were very opinionated in my family and didn't like the way I was approaching things because I was taking a more integrated approach than straight medical. And they were like, got to do the straight medical this way, that way. And I did something, something's a little different. And so I even had to kind of cut off from some of the family that were very opinionated and just like not talk about it with them. And eventually they came around when they saw that I knew what I was doing, and I was having success. Then if they were really interested, like, what are you doing? Uh, um, and so that's a really cool thing there too. But it's like I had to tell them, look, I want to live at least as much as you want me to live. So what are you so worried about? You know, it's like being the pilot of the airplane wants to survive it at least as much as every passenger. But I've been on both sides of it because after, some time I did marry a man who did have cancer. And I had to be that person on the other side of it. And I can say that's tough. And that's the scary part for them. They're outside of it. and they want to help and they want to make it better, and there's really nothing they can do.
There's this feeling of helplessness
Yeah.
with family and friends, right? And so they, in my case, it's like, to what level can I control?
Best thing is just to give them love.
Yep.
Because I already had the cancer situation, I could honor my husband's choices. I didn't always agree, but I always honored it, because it's his path, and I respected that. And eventually he passed, and as much as I really wanted to see things go a different way, it was not in my hands. That was really hard.
You all stepped into your power.
Yes.
You all stepped into your power and made a decision on what was best for you. And, the healing journey is long, and there's a lot of lessons that we learned through that process. So I would like for all of you to share at least one lesson that you learned from your healing journey. And I'll start with Angela.
So there were many, but I think the biggest lesson was about resiliency and self-emotional regulation. And that really kind of is what the journey has led me to. I would not have been that articulate about it at the moment. But looking back now, I can see where it really has, I realized that raising my emotional intelligence, because that's part of what I feel like was part of the cause of the breast cancer, the inflammation, the anxiety, the worry, because, that type of thing. So really resiliency and self-regulation have been my biggest takeaway.
Thank you. While she catches her breath there, we'll go to Lucy, and then you can always pop back in, Angela.
There's this saying, where there is faith, there is no fear. And until you put it to the test, you realize, wow, this is true. The growth in faith during this process really helped minimize the fear. I think that was a big part of my healing journey. And also, don't stress over things you can't control. There's you can't control it. And, that also sounds cliche because everybody says that, but you can't help it because it's human nature. I think this allowed me to really realize what was important and what wasn't important, what to stress about, what not to stress about.
Yeah.
No.
So what I'm hearing is a sense of discernment.
Yes.
One of your lessons is the biggest sense of discernment. Yeah, that's an important tool for sure. Well, thank you. And Rita, how about you?
There are so many, because I think I had a little piece of what Angela had to say and what Lucy had to say as well, especially about, little things don't bother me in the same way. A couple of really good gifts was that I so much, because I didn't see myself the same way other people see me. I didn't see my value. And when they were concerned for me and scared for me, and they were saying, "Hey, I want you to stick around," it's like, oh my God. Or I thought you just were friendly to me because it's just the way you are friendly to me, I had fairly low self-esteem. And, I've got a different sense of myself, and my relationships have just really come around a lot with people, and the trust with people. And the biggest piece, though, was forgiveness. I knew I had to forgive some things. I had some bad things happen to me, bad things done to me when I was young. And when I got to a place where I could release that and forgive that, and get to a place where in my soul consciousness, I was aware that this happened for a reason, was like my spiritual unfoldment, education, you might say, to release something or whatever, like karma, whatever you want to call it. And then to go, okay, that was perfect. And my ego self was going, what just happened? But the result of it is that I am free of all the negative residue of what happened. I remember, but it doesn't affect me in any way. It doesn't restrict me in any way. I've let go. I feel free. I feel resurrected. I mean, I understand how when Jesus died on the cross and he was dying, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." If he hadn't been in that space, there would have been no resurrection.
Yeah.
So that was a big takeaway for me. So powerful.
Life-changing lessons for sure. I just want to circle back with Angela. I know you wanted to complete your thoughts, so if you would please do that.
Oh, I think I was done. I'm sorry that I have this little dry tickle tonight, so I'll apologize, but I
Okay.
think I had made my point.
You ladies are all cancer thrivers. This has transformed you so much. Look at the time. This can be another hour, I'm sure, but I would love to hear how you are transformed because of this experience. Angela?
I think the biggest thing that I learned is make your own decision and live in your own truth. Nobody else is in your body. Nobody else is in you, but you. You know. And to me, how it shaped who I am today is that I have this self knowledge and self knowing that maybe wasn't there before, or I didn't allow it to be seen. And I trust my intuition. I really trust because I know that intuition, if I can really let go of the other things, like Rita was saying, let go of all that negative stuff that's in our life and just be free from all of that. I know that the intuition and the voice speaking to me is the truth. And I listen to it. I didn't always listen to it. And I'm not always right still. I still work at it. It's still, and I'm peeling like an onion, but I'm getting much better at it.
Yeah, your intuition, Angela, is always the truth, whether you like it or not. I mean, that is a big revelation for everybody. I think sometimes it's like your heart wants it to be this way, your mind says something else, but your gut is your intuition always is the truth. And you just have to take that and run with that and focus on that to make it positive if you can. It helps all the time in making a decision, is weighing pros and cons, but always consulting your intuition. I think for me, just working on your mindset, of how you approach things, being focused, staying positive, sharing your journey with other survivors and thrivers. I think other thrivers kind of give you more positive energy and encouragement that when you are just with a survivor versus a thriver. You know the difference.
You do.
And it's important to, when you're talking to somebody and you realize they're just a survivor and they're not a thriver, how do you help them with that? How can you help them see the positiveness and the outcome of all of this? I think that's one of the biggest advice that I could share is when you are a thriver, is share it with people, share your positive energy. It rubs off. It's contagious.
Wow, that's really cool. I think what I come away with, I think, is learning to love myself and be open to receiving love from other people in a way that I wasn't even close to in the past. And so my relationships are totally different now than what they used to be. And what and this ability to be real and to trust myself and love myself and be in my truth, as like what Angela said, and the power of that, the power of forgiveness, how that is to free yourself. And I'm a walking miracle. Statistically, I shouldn't be here. And so every day counts. But it's like I just want to pass that on to other people. I'm nothing special. I'm just me, another person. And with God, anything is possible. So, don't give up. You get a really dire diagnosis. Don't give up. You, in your spirit, I had a very dire diagnosis at one point, and my spirit was going, "You're not going anywhere. Death is not going to happen here this way."
You have unfinished business.
I have unfinished business.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
We all do, right? And we still have an impact and a passion for life. And so I just want to say, thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom. I know as people who are online and who will listen to the replay will want to know more about you. So
Yes, you can see my contact information there. And my bonus gift is Reclaim Your Soul Power, 5 mindset hacks to boost your mood, energy, and inner healing power, so you can make your vision come to life. And this is like a very short book. I didn't want to make it too long so people can go and download it and read it. That is very potent, you know what I mean? Very rich. So take it and digest it. I have the Soul Empowerment HTML, but I also put on a link for a special page on there too. That's the 5 mindset hacks, to give 5 mindset hacks. That's on the menu bar. You can go straight to that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rita.
So my website is angelaorconsulting.com. On the website, I have a 6-minute guided meditation that you can download. And if I say so myself, I think it was pretty good. I listen to it every day. There's my phone number. And on my website, there is a 1-hour Oasis session. So you can schedule that on the page. And it normally is a $99 session. If you go onto my page and register for that, I can give you a discount code for 50% off. And you get an hour-long session, you get 2 breathing techniques, a recording of the session, and then the downloadable meditation.
So juicy freebies so far from these 2 ladies.
And then we have also bonus gift from Lucy.
Mm.
I guess in this past year, I've really tried to rebuild myself after coming from corporate America, and being able to use my passion and my strengths, in my love of retail, to open up space. So I have a little space, and I just now moving to Franklin, have a small space and a brick and mortar, but I also have a website under Lucy Social Style. And my whole kind of genesis of everything that I do is I collect things that are resale, but I also buy things for the booth. And I also paint and do my art. And the whole genesis of it all is really about entertaining. If somebody can walk into my booth and say, you know what, I can wear that top to the lunch, or I can wear it while I'm hosting at home, or maybe it's not even a top, maybe it's just an earring, or maybe it's a piece for your home that you want to put something fun on the table, or it's my art. I love to do art inspired by so many artisans, and I just love putting art that just makes people smile when they see the piece of art. So I would love for you guys to just go into lucysocialstyle.com. I'm currently right now adding more things to the .com. There's a lot more in my store here in Franklin, but I would love to give everybody free shipping if you see anything in there, or just direct message me if you are looking for something else. I can always tell you what I have in the booth, or show you a video of the booth, or you can also follow me on Instagram, because I'm always posting something new.
I see something I like already.
Some of those paintings are beautiful.
Oh,
They are. I can't wait to go in and visit. So thank you for these nice gifts, and please, those who are listening in, take advantage of these opportunities that these amazing ladies had offered. One of the things that I've definitely learned from my cancer experience is how important boundaries are. And I didn't have boundaries. And it was through my reflection of what is going on and what has prompted me to have this experience. And so my free gift is setting boundaries to live your ideal life. If you go down to a gift, you can download the setting boundaries and how to go through that in your life. Of course, I'm an author, and this is one of my books, Catherine's Quest, that you can also buy from my website. And you, Pearl, what is your gift?
Well, thank you, Pat, Rita, Angela, and Lucy for bringing such beautiful and thoughtful bonus gifts for our audience and listeners. Many of you know that I am a certified cancer recovery yoga teacher, Qigong teacher, Reiki master, and conversational intelligence coach. I am offering a free 1-hour VIP session via Zoom meeting where you and I can discuss in confidence how best to break through whatever is limiting you so that you get to thrive by unleashing your full potential. This offer expires by the end of November, so go ahead and take advantage of this free session now. To schedule, all you need to do is go to bit.ly/achievewithpearl and pick the most convenient time for you on my calendar. That webpage is bit.ly/ACHIEVEWITHPEARL.
And my website is at benchmarkmaven.com. Email address is pearl@benchmarkmaven.com. So feel free to drop me an email or give me a call.
In store for next month, November 17th. We have holiday dinners with a snap. We have a chef that has a background in nutrition joining the show to give us some quick ideas and reduce the stress and still create something juicy and healthy. So we ask her to join us. We're going to be in the kitchen of Miss McCurtick, Hannah McCurtick. So please join us. And we always end our show with a quote.
Yes, we have a beautiful quote today, and it's by Bianca Sforacino. And it goes like, be brave enough to heal yourself even when it hurts.
So, ladies, thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of the year and continue on your healing journey. Know that Pearl and I are here to support you in any way. And we thank you all for our listeners who are participating and listening now or on the playback.